Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Los Alamitos Racecourse quarter horse here on Saturday night. It is October the 29th, 2016. I'm going to look at all the races on tonight's program and featuring, and also the last race to feature on tonight's program. It's the Bank of America Challenge. It's a great card. Before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections from racetracks around the world. 10 races to look at. Let's get on to it. Starting off with the opener, 6 p.m. local post time at Los Alamitos. Goes off 9 p.m. here on the East Coast. The first race is the Wrangler Stakes, purse $25,000. It's a stakes race for 3-year-olds. Field of 10 horses dashing the distance of 400 yards. 400 yards here they're traveling. And my top selection in this one will go to the 4-horse Zoomin' for Spuds with Cruz Mendez. Gonna do a superfecta 4-10-3-2. 4-10-3-2. Number 4, Zoom in for Spuds. 5-2, Cruz Mendez on this one. Last time out, run at Los Alamitos, September the 30th, in a 400-yard stakes race. This horse won by 1.5 lengths on the lead all throughout from the rail. Easy victory at 2-1. You know, it was a nice victory. He's 7-5 here locally at Los Al. He's lost twice. That was, back earlier this year, at the end of last year and earlier this year. But I think he's improved a lot since then. Before that, he was running at Sundowns on June the 25th. He had a bit of a layoff between June the 25th and September 30th, but that 400-yard stakes race at Sundowns in a stakes race finished there by a half length with Tony Guyman up that day. Really just didn't have the best of closing kicks. Really sat third all throughout. But his start before that, was a trial for that race. He finished third. But his start before that came in March at Los Al in a 15,000 stakes race, won by 1/4 lengths. You know, he really likes Los Al. I think this horse should have a very good run here today. I'm going to use this horse as a top selection. If you're playing a pick 4, I'm saving my money for the Breeders' Cup next weekend. So if I play a pick 4, I want to keep it cheap. I would, if I could single this horse, I might, because I think he has a very strong chance of winning here. But some of these races are very wide open. So to recount my best for race number 1 from Los Alamitos, it's the Wrangler Stakes. Gonna go with the 4-horse Zoomin' for Spuds. Gonna do a superfecta here. 4-10-3-2. 4-10-3-2. To race number 2 now from Los Alamitos. The second race is the AQHA Members Plus Stakes. It's a stakes race for fillies, mares, drills, and upwards. Going for a purse of $25,000. Field of 10 horses traveling 400 yards. A lot of these races have 10-horse fields, which is something I don't see a lot at Los Alamitos anymore. They're traveling 400. My top selection in this one will go to the 6-horse, number 6, who is Apolitical Zoom, another horse I might single if I play this pick 4. Gonna go 6-2-8-5, 6-2-8-5, number 6, Apolitical Zoom, 8-5, Cesar de Avila on this one. Last time out, Los Al, September the 25th, 400 yards in a stakes race. This horse finished third by a neck in an all-out finish, basically sat second all throughout, lost a neck bob for the win. It was a little bit out-finished. They finished the race in 19.83 for the 400. If you want to give it an excuse, he had a bit of a layoff, not a long layoff, but it was a tiny layoff from September 25th to August the 5th at Los Al, 3:30 in a 15,000 stakes race. Horse won by a half length. He was the best horse in that race, and he proved it. It was a nice victory for this horse. He was just at a great victory. And then an allowance race at Los Al, 350 on June 18th. He finished third by 1.5 lengths. Really just didn't do anything. He lost to Jess Cuz that day. He's 14-4 here at Los Alamitos. He has a lot of third place finishes, but I think at this spot he should do well. He's a great post position today, so going to use this horse. So to recap my bets for race number 2 from Los Alamitos, it's the AQHA Members Plus Stakes. Gonna go with the 6-horse Apolitical Zoom. Gonna do a superfecta here, 6-2-8-5, 6-2-8-5. To the third race from Los Al now on this Saturday night. The third race is the Neutrina Stakes. It's a stakes race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field purse 25,000. Field of only 6 horses traveling the classic distance of 440 yards, which equals about 2 furlongs in thoroughbred racing. If you want to go by furlongs, 400 meters if you want to go by meters. But the traveling 440 here. My top selection will go to the 4-horse. He looks hot. Gonna go 4-6-5-3. 4-6-5-3. Number 4. He looks hot. Even my favorite here with Carlos Huerta. I don't want to pick the favorite here, but you think sometimes you have to. I would single this horse if you're playing the pick four. Last time out, he ran October the 9th at Los Al, 440 yards in a stakes race. From the rail, his horse finished sixth by 3 lengths, was far, far back early. He just broke horribly. It was his first start since July. You could give that a tiny excuse to that, but, it just wasn't his best to run. Start before Nevessa's maturity at Los Al, 400 yards July 3rd. Horse won by a neck and had a great run. He was drifting out a little bit, but ran incredibly well. Got a 105 speed index, his third best, excuse me, of his career that day. And then start before then, the maturity trial, this horse finished second behind Munis. Munis, who was a very good horse, couldn't catch him. But I think this horse should do well here today. This horse did win the Los Al 2 Millions back in 2014. And then that was his last race after a layoff. He didn't run again until April 10th of 2016, and he left back. He came back in a good second place finish. I think this horse should do well here. If he wins today, he'll be over the. It looks like he'll be over the $1 million mark for his career. So going to use this horse as a top selection. So to recap my bets for race number 3 from Los Alamitos, it's the Neutrina Stakes. Going to go with the 4 horse. He looks hot. Going to go 4-6-5-3. 4-6-5-3 here in the third from Los Al. Today's fourth race from Los Alamitos, and go download your program from Los Al. It's a great little tool. I like how California Tracks post their pocket program, as they call them, on their websites. Go download it. It's really nice. But this fourth race now from Los Alamitos is the B&W Stakes. Stakes race for 2-year-olds here. Field going for a purse 25,000. Field of 8 horses traveling 350 yards. And I've always been asked, why do I show this diagram? I have notes on a piece of paper down here. It gives me a second to look at them, so that's why. So notes right here. But my top selection in this fourth race, the B&W Stakes, will go to the 5 horse Jess Moss at 8-1. I think this is the race you might see a price. I might, if I single the first 3 legs, I might go 4 deep in this one, see if I could catch the long shot. If I have my top pick, Jess Moss comes in, I am gonna catch the long shot. Gonna go 5-6-2-3 here. 5-6-2-3 in the super. Probably use all 4 in the pick 4. But number 5, Jess Moss, 8-1. Jesus Alaya. Sorry, my Spanish is horrible. My English is horrible also. But this horse, Jess Moss, last time out, ran at Los Al 350 on October the 8th in the 25,000 autumn handicap. Horse finished 8th by 3 1/4 lengths that day. Just had a horrible start. He broke out. He was bumped. He was drifting. He just had a very bad trip that day. He beat one horse. It wasn't his day to win. He ran in the trial for that race on September 11th. He won by a neck, and he ran pretty well. 1785 was his time. He was lugging in, but he got up there, and then he broke his maiden that day also. Then he kept finishing second in all these kind of races. He has a little bit he has a problem with lugging in. If he keep it straight course today, I think this horse should do well. So hopefully this horse has a straight course today. That's the reason I think this horse should do well. If he keeps straight course, he's definitely going to win. So to recap my bets for race number 4 from Los Alamitos, it's the B&W Stakes. Going to go with the 5-horse Jess Moss. Going to do a superfecta 5-6-2-3. 5-6-2-3. To race number 5 now from Los Alamitos here on Saturday night. It's the Markel Invitational Bonus Challenge Championship. It's a stakes race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have, going for a purse $75,000, we have a field of 7 horses traveling the distance of ground of 350 yards. 350? My top selection in this one will go to the 3-horse First Prize Chicks with Cruz Mendez. Going to go 3-5-1-4. 3-5-1-4. Number 3, First Prize Chicks. 7-5, Cruz Mendez, the local rider on this one. Last time out at Los Al, September 30th, 350 yards in a 16,000 stakes race. Horse won by half length. That's 17-1. He was on the lead all throughout. It was a very good victory. It was probably the horse's best outing of his life. Start before at Los Al, 3:30, September the 16th, in allowance race for 12,000. Horse finished 5th by 1 1/4 lengths behind Just Politician. Just a Politician is a very good horse who won the next start out also. But this horse had a horrible trip for the inside. He got in tight. It just wasn't his day. And start before that, he ran a 300-yard race in a final. He finished 4th by 3/4 length. Really did not have the best runs. 4-2 here at Los Alamitos. I think he should run an exceptionally well race. His last one was the easiest out of easy. So going to go with this one. So to recap my bets for the Markel Invitational Bonus Challenge, race number 5 from Los Al. Going to go with 3 horse. First prize chicks. Going to go 3-5-1-4. 3-5-1-4. To race number 8 now from Los Alamitos. We're going to go around the hook on this one, which is this race has always been a good one. This 8th race is the Adarini Distance Challenge Championship. It's a grade 1 here, going for a purse of $125,000. It's a stakes race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses traveling 870 yards. Probably my favorite distance out of any quarter horse events. It's just a fun race. And unlike, a lot of the quarter horse 870 races they have at Los Al, they're always mixed breed. They always have thoroughbreds in them. They'll have like one quarter horse in it. The rest will be thoroughbreds, like Field 7. You'll have 6 thoroughbreds, 1 quarter horse. It's not that fun. You have a full field of 8 quarter horses here. It's a great race here. My top selection, I'm going to go to the way outside to the 8 horse, Fire on the Fly. Going to go 8-1-4-7. 8-1-4-7, number 8, Fire on the Fly. 8-5, Ricky Ramirez. Last time out at Lone Star Park, 870, October the 1st, in a $27,000 stakes race. Horse finished second by 1.5 lengths. He was stalking around the lead all throughout, but, he weakened in the final furlong. He got taken over by the eventual winner. Excuse, if you could give the horse an excuse that day, it was the horse's first start since May the 22nd, so I think that might be a little bit of an excuse. Start for May 22nd at Remington Park, 870 in a distance challenge cup. This horse won by a nose, closing off very well. It was a nice closing off victory. And then at Remington Park, 870 for the trial for that race. Horse won by 1.75 lengths. He's a closer when it comes to these 870 races. He's really closed up well. I would like to see this horse sit a little bit closer today with this shorter stretch here of this 5/8 of mile track. If he does that, I think this horse would win. I would love to see this race run on the outer ring, the thoroughbred daytime portion of the track, because I think this horse would love it with that really extra long stretch. But they can't do that since the run probably to the first turn is too close, and plus they don't have lights on the outside portion of the track. But I think this horse should have a good run here today. So going to go with this one here. So to recap my bets for race number 6 from Los Alamitos, it's the Adarini Distance Challenge Championship, the Grade 1 championship for this race. Going to go with the 8 horse Fire on the Fly. Going to go 8-1-4-7, 8-1-4-7. To race number 7 now. 7th race, the beginning of this late pick 4 from Los Al. 7th race is the Mario Distaff Challenge Championship. It's grade 1 here, stakes race for fillies and mares, drills, and upwards. Going for a purse $125,000. We have a field of 10 horses traveling the distance of ground of 400 yards. 400. My top selection in this one will go to the 6 horse, number 6, Time for Wine. I'm going to go 6-9-3-2, 6-9-3-2. I think there's a little bit more value in this leg of the in this late pick 4 than the earlier one. I think the earlier one you're gonna have a little bit of chalky kind of. You're gonna have some chalk horses in the first 3 legs, and that 4th leg is probably going to be a long shot, but this late one, you're going to have a chalk in at least one race, but the rest look a little bit wide open. This one does too. I found my way to the 6 horses top selection, Time for Wine, 6-9-3-2 here. Number 6, Time for Wine, 8-1 with Francisco Calderon on this one. Last time out, July 9th at Rotama, 350 and a 20,000 stakes race. Horse finished 6th by 3.5 lengths that day. Was up near the leaders early on, then weakened really badly. He beat one horse. They took this horse to the sideline after that, so maybe something was wrong, something was amiss, maybe, you really don't know. Start before at Rotama, 350, June 18th, at a 20,000 stakes race. Horse finished second by 3/4 length. He closed off for second that day. If it was 353 yards, let's say, I think this horse would have won. I think he would have got his head up there. But since it was 350, he just came a little bit too late. And then at Sam Houston, 400 yards on April 30th in a 25,000 stakes race. Horse won by half length, but his first start of the year. It was a very nice victory. I think this horse should have a good start here today. 8-1, going to take my chances with a fresh horse here today. Has a workout September 22nd at Lone Star, 3:30 and 17.36. Breezing from the gate, the best workout of 2 that day. So to recap my bets for race number 7 from Los Alamitos, it's the Merrill Distaff Challenge Championship, the Grade 1 race. Going to go with the 6 horse, Time for Wine. Going to go 6-9-3-2, 6-9-3-2. To race number 8 now from Los Alamitos here on this Saturday night. It's the eighth race is the John Deere Juvenile Challenge Championship, Grade 2 purse $151,250. It's charity for 2-year-olds. Field of 10 horses traveling the distance of ground of 350 yards. 350. My top selection in this one will go to the 4-horse Paint a Candy Storm, 10 to 1. Gonna go 4-2-3-9. 4-2-3-9. Number 4, Paint a Candy Storm, 10 to 1. Cruz Mendez riding this one. Like I said, Los Al native rider coming on to ride this one. If I could get the page to load, 10 to 1, 4-2-3-9 is the super. Last time out, this horse ran at Los Al 350 in October the 2nd of charity trial. This horse finished fourth by 1.5 lengths. He just got in, he was just had a horrible start. He kind of drifts sometimes. He did it that day. It just wasn't this horse's day to win. Start before in a juvenile stakes here at Los Al 350 August 20th. Horse finished fourth by 1.25 lengths. The first two finishers are coming out of that race. The Kissed by an Eagle was winner next out, who's running back here today. And the third place finisher, who's not running here, Bannister, was the winner next out. It was very wide that day. Just was erratic in the stretch, really didn't do anything. Start for that in the trial, this horse finished second by 3/4 length behind One Proud Eagle, who's running here again. He got knocked into a horse that day by a fellow horse, and it just took all out of him. This horse has only won once here at Los Al, but I think this horse is on the improvement today. He should have a good run. I'm going to take my chances here with this 10 to 1 shot. So to recap my bets for race number 8 from Los Alamitos, John Deere Juvenile Challenge Championship. Going to go with the 4-horse Paint a Candy Storm. Going to go 4-2-3-9. 4-2-3-9. To race number 9 now from Los Alamitos on this Saturday night. Almost forgot. The ninth race is the Adequin Derby Challenge Championship, Grade 3, purse $202,000. It's a Derby for 3-year-olds. We have a field of 11 horses. Can't tell you the last time I saw an 11-horse field at Los Alamitos, traveling 400 yards. 400? And my top selection in this one will go to the 3-horse BF. Hopefully I said this right. BF Foozer Gorgeous. It's the 3-horse, my top selection. Going to go 3-6-8-10. 3-6-8-10, number 3. 7 to 2 with Adrian Ramos on this one. Last time out in Albuquerque, September the 18th, 350 in a 50,000 stakes race. Horse finished second by 3/4 length. Basically second all throughout. Really couldn't get the good get up there to win. It was a second in dead heat also, so keep that in mind. It was the horse's first start since July 2nd also at Ruidoso, 400 yards in a 39,000 stakes race. Horse won by neck, on the lead all throughout, and he was a little bit dueling, but he had a very nice lead all throughout. And then Ruidoso in the trial for that race finished second by half length. He was just second all throughout. Really, they were kind of saving the horse, I think, for that final. I think. He's making his Los Al debut today. I think this horse should have a good start here today. He did well at Sunland over the winter. He finished second in a very good stakes race they had that day back in May, early May. He almost won. He finished second by a neck behind Good Job Honey. But I think this horse should run well here today. So to recap my bets for race number 9 from Los Alamitos, it's the Adequin Derby Challenge Championship. Gonna go with the 3-horse. Gonna do a superfecta 3-6-8-10. 3-6-8-10. Now, finally, to race number 10. It's a great race. It's the best race in tonight's program. It's a race everybody's been looking for. It's the Grade 1 Bank of America Challenge Championship. It's going for a purse of $358,500. It's a stakes race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses. Couldn't tell you the last time I saw a 12-horse field at Los Alamitos, traveling 440 yards. 440. Classic quarter-horse distance. And I'm going to go to the way outside of the starting gate, to the 12-horse BH Lisa's Boy, or Eliza's Boy, whatever they want to call it. But I'm going to go to the 12 horses top selection, pick 4 single if you play. So going to go 12-7-10-3, 12-7-10-3, number 12, BH Liza's Boy, with Jesus Ayala on this one, another Los Al local rider. Last time out, Los Alamitos, October the 9th, 400 yards in a stakes race. This horse finished second by half length behind He's a Dash Fire. probably the best horse at Los Al at the moment. Was just second best behind him. Wasn't catching Muse Dash 5. He's just on somewhere on a different planet. He's not on the same planet as the normal horses, but he ran second best. Start before that, he finished second best again to at Los Al, 400 yards behind the He's a Dash Fire. He just cannot beat that horse. And then his last win came at Los Al back in August 13th in a Grade 3 race. He won by 3/4 length. It was he broke in a little bit, but he and was a little bit bumped, but really closed up well. I think this horse should have a good start here today. He ran the Challenge Championship last year at Lone Star. He finished fifth by 2 1/4 lengths, but I think he's coming to this race a lot better. He faced so much tougher last time out with He's a Dash of Fire that I think he should really do well. The outside post position I don't think kills him that much, so I'm going to use this horse as top selection. So to recap my bets for race number 10 from Los Alamitos, it's the Bank of America Challenge Championship. Going to go with the 12 horse BH Lisa's Boy. Going to do a superfecta 12-7-10-3. 12-7-10-3. So good luck to all. And follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.